everyone. This is Sharon Claffey-Caliubi at Learning Pool. I'm here for another Hang 10. I've got my boogie board here out in the WeWork as we are starting to surface from the pandemic. I'm still checking in with thought leaders, L&D practitioners, experts in their field. And today I have Laura Dowdle. And Laura, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks, Sharon. Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you. Laura and I worked together. Oh gosh, we were just talking about this a number of years ago. And she worked in business as well as in learning, an amazing woman in learning. And it's really neat to hear how her career has evolved and also what she's been doing lately. Really, I'm most intrigued by what she's doing in the area of well-being and really just that balance in life, which is something that as we are surfacing from the pandemic, we really need to make note of, and we need to be prepared to help others as well as ourselves. So Laura, why don't you explain to me what you've been up to and how you're finding balance in your life?
Thanks, Sharon. Well, I think the biggest thing to start with is that everybody, through all the transitions and changes and the challenges of the pandemic in the last year and a half, our nervous systems have gone into overdrive. We've kind of lost that sense of grounding. We're go, go, go. We're experiencing multiple levels of overwhelm. And I think when we're experiencing that physically, it's really affecting our colleagues, but most of all, our family life. So whatever we experience as an adult, it has this direct transference to our children. So I think we're really seeing the impact in the younger years. And I think it's only now that people are beginning to slowly see how the stress has affected them, because most people have been in a coping mechanism. So I think it's really important that we begin to ground ourselves and learn how to let go of stress, because most people deal with just coping and dealing with the moment, but not actually processing it. And people don't know how to let it go from their body, where it's something that we're not taught. And that's a big aspect of what I teach.
Yeah, no, it's huge. I know even here at Learning Pool, you were able to share and almost educate us on the value of this and how it can, if you learn how to do it, you can help your newborn babies, you can help yourself. And it was interesting. It's not yoga at all, but it felt like I had to fine tune my thought and energy. And I didn't feel sore afterwards, but I felt like, wow. I felt a lot had left me. I could feel it in my muscles as well. And as someone that works out a lot, it was a completely different type of mental exercise as well as physical exercise. Can you explain that a little bit more, maybe how it isn't the traditional practice of yoga and how it balances with other things?
So just to give a bit of background, I'm also a professional dancer, and I'm a yoga teacher, and I work in multiple physical modalities. So I know what it's like to look after the body and also to recover from injury. And while this isn't something that is outwardly usually physical or aerobic, it is something that is neurological. It's very deep within the system that asks the body to move physically in different patterns and sequences and explorations that bring more dexterity, flexibility, and cognitive health to the body, which is very different to typical exercise. So this is not, outwardly looking like maybe you're going to get fit from doing this, but you're getting cognitively fit. Like the agility of the brain and the connection between the brain and the body is key to learning, memory, like resilience as well, not just in the muscle, but in the mind. And it's also key to the health of our nervous system. So if the nervous system is the foundation of our well-being, so if there's not a balance there, then you might as well, everything else is just falling on feeble ground. So this is why it really complements the somatic approach that I have, complements any activity that you may be doing otherwise. And you will notice, like, for example, when I do my somatic movement and then I do like my intense dancing, my running, whatever I'm doing, I have so much more energy. I have my muscles don't need the recovery time, etc. So, but at the same time, I want the value to be seen that it is as beneficial as those exercises too, because most practices are not addressing the key to our well-being and our neurological health. And just to add to that this process, when we work on the level of the nervous system, we're also allowing the body to access greater healing. We're decreasing the impact of aging on the body. That's really huge. So that's a fact. That there's plenty of research around that. and we're increasing our proprioceptive sensing. So that's our ability to be present within our space, within our body, within our emotional well-being. And these are key skills that we need to pass on to our children and our colleagues, or the people that we're training in. So I think these soft skills are becoming more and more important, right? And we see that in learning. And just to talk to the learning point of view, having worked with you in learning and development, we learn through movement, and movement is our first language. And so the most amazing thing, and you've touched on it there in your experience, is that you're learning something about yourself, and it's fascinating. And you'll feel tired after doing this practice, even though it seems soft and gentle.
I
You'll
certainly
feel
did. I was
exhausted.
shocked. That's
Yes,
so
and
true.
why is that? Why is that? Because you are activating centers in the brain and the body that haven't been connected for years. So we have this thing called neuromuscular amnesia. So when we're not working between different parts of the brain and different aspects of the body, we're losing that functionality. So you are decreasing your potential, your capacity for well-being, health, longevity, if you're not doing something like this. And so this is the new yoga. In 10 years, you'll be like, oh, I remember that girl who taught that workshop for our corporate team. So I'm telling you, if you want to be an innovator in your field, you need to be doing this. And not only that, because of my artistic background as well, I bring in creative practices. And why is creative health is key? Because it enables us to be innovative, to better solve problems, to be emotionally resilient. And these are all skills, again, that we need to pass on to the next generation. So I think it's a matter of responsibility and practical well-being that these kind of practices are embedded into our culture, because this is something you can do easily. It can take 10 minutes. So in the workshop I shared with you and your team and your international colleagues, I was sharing self-care techniques that are creative and easily integrated into your day, somatic movement practices that reset the nervous system and just fire all this neurological health through your body, and restore harmony to not just the mind, as well as all your needs for your physical exercise, etc.
Right. And I mean, this is especially important as we start going back to whatever our new regiment's going to be. We're really evolving as globally. This is going
Yes.
around, and we need to go beyond that mental health awareness month. I think it was last month. We need to do this all the time. It's not just one month that we should pay attention. I know Learning Pool has some courses, but they don't deal with exactly what you were just sharing. And I know the feedback we received from my colleagues was that there was a greater lift off the stress and the buildup that you get just by living in general. I also want to just reflect that what you're teaching folks is almost like what we would call an L&D, a train the trainer. You're teaching folks to repeat it, and then to be able to share it, and colleagues, family members, with their kids. And this is really inspiring. It's very inspiring that we can get this information. It will be in the introduction of this Hang 10. We'll give links so that folks can even look it up and learn more. But I can't thank you enough, Laura, bringing your business and expertise and background in yoga and what do you call this? Wellness, creative well-being.
Creative well-being,
Creative well-being, and balancing it all together. It's just so fortunate that someone with such a diverse background can do it. So I can't thank you enough. We're going to be checking in, because we're going to need to really keep our eye on this as we all surface and come up for air. And I just can't thank you enough for your time. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sharon. Thanks, everybody.